Yes, this is in reference regarding the assignment number 2 of CSL 7690, Agent for Computing. The first question is related to the creation of the two clusters. And in one cluster, we have to create two virtual machines. And in second cluster, we don't have to create any virtual machine, but we have to migrate the virtual machines from cluster 1 to the cluster 2. So in order to achieve the same, yes. So I have considered the below things while performing this demonstration. I have used the virtual box, which is a type 2 hypervisor, and I have used the live VM migration technique. And in order to create the VMs, I have used TinyCore OS, and virtual machine manager is used for the management of the cluster. So you can see that over here there are two clusters I have created using the Ubuntu 22.04. These are the two virtual machines which is already running, and these are the settings which I have kept. I have used the processor's account as a 3. I have used this enable nested VT configuration for the creation of KVMs, and I have used this network to intercommunicate between two virtual machines. I have used this hosted only adapter, which is also we can see from over here that this is the VirtualBox host only Ethernet adapter, which is using which is this network which I have used. And using these two machines, these are the two VMs which are created. This is the cluster 2. Yes, this is the cluster 2. You can see that this is the cluster 2 machine from the host name. And and from here over from the cluster name, you can see that it is the cluster 1. So below things I have done for the setup of the virtual machines and creation of the machine manager. What I have fired the below commands in order to set up the same in the system, which yeah, over here firstly I have enabled that enabled nested VT configuration, and after that I have used the below RPMs. I have updated the RPMs. I have used the KVM in order KVM and virtual manager. These are the commands I have used in order to install the same. After that, I have restarted a libvirt using this command. And I have added the users because I was not able to access directly. So in order to access it, I have to add the users for these RPMs. Then I have restarted the, and after that, I have used the password-led connections. For that, I have to install the OpenSSH server for the SSHD. I have restarted it and I have created a key pairs I have created using the commands, which is you can see from over here that this is the way I have created the two keys, and I have copied the in order to make it passwordless. I have copied the keys to the remote server using these commands. You can see over here. In the cluster 1, I have used the cluster 2 IP address in order to copy it, and from cluster 2, I have used the cluster 1 IP address. So to make it both way passwordless. And from these machines, you can see that if I can run IPA, you can see that this is the IP which is assigned to my machine 192.168.101 is cluster 1 IP, and in cluster 2 you can see 192.168.102 is the cluster 2 IP address. So after that I have created the uh, file system in order to which will be useful for the migration technique. This is here I have used this as a client machine. You can see this is mounted over here. This is the IP of the server, which is cluster 1. And over here, I have mounted this for the 102 machine. But before that, I have to install certain RPMs, which are like For the server machine, I have used apt install NFS server. Then after that, I have restarted the service, and after that, I have echoed it, and I have moved the I have mounted for the 102 secondary IP client IP into this path. And in the cluster 2, I have used NFS Commons, which is for the client's creation. And just I have restarted that service, and I have mounted this, which is also visible from this demonstrated from over here. df minus kh, it is visible that it is mounted. Now there is a crucial step, which is actually the main thing: how to create the VMs into the host machine. Now you can see this is cluster 2. Yeah, this is cluster. Yeah, over here, in order to create it, we have to create a new virtual machine from this option. In cluster 1, I have selected this and I have forwarded it. I have selected browse local machine. I have selected the current ISO. After that, I have put it as a generic ISO. I have selected. I have forwarded it, and I have used 512 one CPU forward 1 GB of this GB just for the demonstration purpose. And after that, this is the final step. Once you will click over here, it is showing you all the details which you have already selected. And once you click the finish, the VM will be created over here. Similarly, I have created two virtual machines, and I have registered the cluster 2 here from the add connections, and I have put the 102 IP over here, and I have put the username, and after that it is showing over here. So now, in order to now the last technique, which is how to migrate it, I am actually migrating it live migration. I'm selecting live migration. I'm migrating it to cluster 2. I will put over here the IP of the cluster 2 192.168.56.102, and I will oh sorry, this is one more step, allow unsave. I'm migrating it. You can see cluster that machine is migrated to cluster 2. Similarly, I can migrate this one also. Cluster 2 192.168.56.101. 102, sorry, 102 is the IP of the second one. And I have to select unsafe, then migrate. Now you can see that both the machines are migrated to cluster 2. So this is it. This is the thing which we have to achieve in this question. So it is done.